Level 1. First, let's start with the mysterious places that have strange landscapes and unusual creatures, but are somewhat easier to reach in the Naruto world. These locations are still on the Earth, not hidden in another dimension, and they're still used in some way. I'm talking about places like the Forest of Death and the Island Turtle. The Forest of Death is located on the outskirts of Konoha, north of Training Ground 43. A tall metal fence surrounds the entire area, with 44 evenly spaced gates along its border. Inside, there's a massive forest about 10 kilometers wide, with a river running through it and a tower standing right in the center. Sounds normal enough, right? No, this place is hell on earth. Inside the forest live huge and deadly creatures. We're talking leeches the size of humans, ferocious tigers that can tear a ninja apart in seconds, and giant bears that never stop hunting. Most of the plants and animals here are either enormous, poisonous, or usually both. Before entering the Chunin exams held in this forest, every participant must sign a waiver, admitting that they could die inside and that the examiners won't be held responsible. That alone tells you just how dangerous this place really is. The Chunin exam is really tough. Many people died before they could move on to the next round, and they stayed Jinin forever. The three Sand siblings once broke the record by finishing in just 97 minutes, beating the old record by 4 whole hours, a feat that almost no one has ever come close to repeating. Now, the Turtle Island of Kumogakure. This isn't a normal island. It's a massive living turtle, a creature so huge that it can actually move around on its own, like a mobile fortress. Just picture a beast even bigger than all 9-tailed beasts combined, maybe even close to the 10 tails in size. That's Genbu, the Turtle Island. Genbu has existed since ancient times, and it was tamed by Kumogakure back when the Hidden Cloud Village was first founded. Since then, it's been used as a special training ground for Cloud Shinobi, kind of like the Forest of Death in the Hidden Leaf Village. But unlike the Forest of Death, Genbu can move, which makes it almost impossible to find unless you have aerial scouts searching for it. That mobility gives Kumogakure a huge strategic advantage. On Genbu's back lies a complete ecosystem of its own. Thick forests cover the land, giant wild beasts roam freely, and there are even man-made buildings scattered around. The great Toad Sage once called this place a paradise, but for humans, it's more like hell on earth. Signs of death and battles are everywhere, and the massive creatures never stop hunting. A and Killer B both trained here when they were young, and B even managed to tame every creature on the island. Nowadays, he's got his own vacation house sitting right here on Genbu's back. The most important spot on the island is the Falls of Truth. This is where Naruto and B face their dark selves and learn to master the power of their tailed beasts. There's nowhere else in the ninja world with a waterfall like this. It's one of a kind. Genbu is also guarded by a giant squid that attacks anything that gets too close, plus a high-level barrier technique that protects the island. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, the Shinobi Alliance sent Naruto and B here to hide from Akatsuki, which shows just how secure Genbu really is. Now everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to give a huge shout out to all of you, my incredible supporters. Your love and encouragement means so much to me. Every like, comment, and share inspires me to keep creating and improving my content. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me. Let's continue to grow together and make amazing memories. You all rock. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much. Level 2. These are structures built across the world and connected to the tailed beasts since the early days when they were separated from the 10 Tails chakra. However, there is only one location we actually get to see in the Narutoverse, and it's Tailed Beast Temple. This mysterious temple sits on Genbu's back, right behind the Falls of Truth, and it's where Jinchuriki come to face their destiny. This is a spiritual battlefield, a place that decides whether a Jinchuriki can control their Biju's power or be devoured by the beast within. The moment you step inside the Tailed Beast Temple, you're greeted by rows of headless bodhisattva statues, standing silently in the shadows. Inside the temple are 2 separate chambers, each with its own terrifying purpose. The entrance to the first chamber is shaped like the head of the 2 tails, and there's a switch hidden inside its mouth. To activate it, you literally have to stick your head into the beast's mouth. This chamber was designed to imprison a tailed beast if its Jinchuriki failed to keep control and the beast was reborn. It locks the Biju away until a new host can appear. In other words, it's a final failsafe, the last barrier preventing a rampaging tailed beast from escaping and bringing disaster to the world. The second chamber is even more terrifying. It's called the Chakra Isolation Chamber, hidden behind the giant head statue of the 8 Tails. According to Killer B, No chakra can be detected from outside its walls. It's a completely sealed-off space, where a Jinchuriki and their Biju must face each other with no outside help, no distractions, and no escape. In the anime, it's said that the Sage of Six Paths and his followers built 9 temples across the world, one for each tailed beast, as sanctuaries where they could live freely and safely. If that's true, then the tailed beast temple was likely created by Hagoromo Otsutsuki himself, the man who gave birth to the 9 Biju. Level 3. Now we come to a type of place that still exists on Earth but is extremely mysterious. Only a few ninjas can access it. It's where we can find ancient ruins and uncover hidden historical events from the past. I'm talking about Mountain's Graveyard. You've probably never heard of the Mountain's Graveyard before, right? Well, this place is found in the far north, stuck between Takigakure and Otogakure. It's a wild mountain range covered in thick forests. Look, massive bones of giant creatures stick out of the ground everywhere, like natural tombstones. They are skeletons of monsters so ancient, you don't even know their names. That's why people call it a graveyard. Deep inside the Mountain's Graveyard, there's an abandoned mine. That mine connects directly to the ruins of the Otsutsuki clan. Yeah, we're talking about an alien civilization that once existed on Earth thousands of years ago. This is also where Madara Uchiha chose to hide out. After being defeated by Hashirama Senju, Madara retreated here and turned it into the control center for his Eye of the Moon plan. He stayed alive thanks to the demonic statue of the Outer Path, a creature that came from the Otsutsuki clan itself. The base was built with tons of hidden tunnels running deep underground, linking to several different countries. That's why Madara could send White Zetsu anywhere without anyone noticing. Even when Obito was badly injured in the Land of Grass, White Zetsu was able to secretly bring him back here through those tunnels. Inside this base, there's a terrifying laboratory where Obito carried out his experiments. This is the exact place where he implanted Itachi's Sharingan into Sasuke, and where he tried to take Shisui's eye from Danzo's corpse. The walls of the lab are marked with the Uchiha clan symbol, and right beneath it, there's a massive collection of Sharingan eyes floating in some kind of liquid. They're all neatly stored in glass containers, each one carefully labeled. This was Obito's personal stockpile of Sharingan, so he could replace his eyes whenever he needed. What makes the Mountain's Graveyard even more dangerous is how completely cut off it is from the outside world. There's no public entrance, no map that shows it, and according to Madara, there isn't even a way out. It's the perfect prison if you want to trap someone forever, or an unbreakable fortress if you want to disappear. That's why Madara could be the ghost of Uchiha for a long time. The secret entrances are hidden beneath animal bones or carved into the mountain walls, making it nearly impossible to find unless you already know exactly where to look. And there's one detail almost nobody notices. Deep beneath the base, there's a flooded cave where the entire White Zetsu army was stored before the Fourth Great Ninja War. Tens of thousands of White Zetsu clones were lying there, waiting to be awakened. That's why when Kabuto discovered this place, he led Anko Midarashi's team straight to it, leaving behind a trail of corpses as clues. Kabuto knew this was the center of everything. 15 years after the war, when the demonic statue was gone, the giant tree that once grew inside the base had withered away, and the water below had completely dried up. The surviving White Zetsu hid within the tree's roots, while the incomplete ones slowly decayed. Eventually, Sasuke found them and wiped them out, but that only raised more questions. How many more secrets are still buried in the deepest layers of the Mountain's Graveyard? Could the Otsutsuki ruins down there still be hiding powers or technology we've never seen before? And why are there so many giant bones scattered all over the area? Level 4. Now we arrive at the most mysterious lands on Earth, home to unique communities, warriors, and their own social systems. These places are also the origin of one of the most powerful abilities in the Naruto universe. Let's explore the 3 Sage regions. These are Mount Myoboku, Ryuchi Cave, and Shikotsu Forest. They exist far beyond what normal ninja understand, hidden away from the human world. Only a chosen few have ever set foot there. These are the birthplaces of Sage Mode. Mount Myoboku is the one we know the most about. It's the home of the Toad Sages, ruled by the great Toad Sage Gamamaru, an ancient creature who's lived for thousands of years and can literally see the future. Jiraiya, Naruto, and even Minato have all trained here to learn Sage Mode. And you can't just walk there normally. Either you're summoned to the place, or you have to be guided there through a journey that takes an entire month by someone who knows the way. That's why so few people even know this place exists. The mountain is overflowing with natural energy, the very source of Sage Mode power. It lets a person draw strength from nature itself and reach a godlike state. The Great Toad Sage not only teaches people how to use this energy, but also has visions of the future. He even predicted Naruto's arrival and his role in saving the world. But here's something most people don't know. Gamamaru has been alive since the era of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the Sage of Six Paths. That means he's literally witnessed the entire history of the ninja world from the very beginning. Next, there's Ryuchi Cave, the home of the Snake Sages, a place way darker and way more dangerous than Mount Myoboku. This is where Orochimaru and later Kabuto went to gain their sage powers. The cave is ruled by the White Snake Sage, a massive serpent with terrifying power. Unlike the calm and wise toads, the snakes here see humans as food. To master Sage Mode in this place, you have to survive deadly trials, and many who tried have died trying. Ryuchi Cave is also completely hidden from the outside world. No one really knows where it is or how to reach it. The snakes here only allow those who are willing to sacrifice anything for the greed of power and strength to enter. Inside the cave are dark tunnels crawling with giant serpents waiting to strike. The White Snake Sage has lived for thousands of years too, and just like the Great Toad Sage, she knows a ton about the world's history, but she's not interested in balance or destiny. She only cares about strength and the survival of her kind. Then we have Shikotsu Forest, the most mysterious one of all. We know almost nothing about it. All we know is that it's a damp, poisonous forest that somehow radiates healing energy. It's also the home of Katsuyu, the giant slug that Tsunade and Sakura summon. Katsuyu is the only known inhabitant, and so far, no one else is known to have ever set foot in this land. All three sage regions share something in common. They've existed since ancient times, maybe even before Kaguya came to Earth. The sages living there have watched the world for thousands of years, holding knowledge deeper than anyone else. But they chose to live apart from humans. Who knows? Maybe in Boruto's future, we'll see more of these places revealed. Maybe there's a fourth or even fifth sage region waiting to be discovered. Only time will tell. Level 5. Now we enter a separate dimension, no longer the same one as Earth. It's Kamui's dimension. This is a separate space created by the Mangekyo Sharingan of Obito Uchiha. Just think about that for a second. A single man created an entire dimension just with the power of his eyes. Kamui's dimension is linked to both of Obito's eyes. When Obito gave one of his eyes to Kakashi, both of them gained access to the same dimension. That's why Kakashi was able to attack Obito, even though Obito could turn intangible. Anything Kakashi sent into Kamui's dimension could hit Obito while he was inside it. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Kakashi used this trick to injure Obito for the first time. He threw a lightning-charged kunai into the dimension, and it stabbed Obito from behind. So what does Kamui's dimension actually look like? When Obito first brought Sasuke and Karen there after the battle at the 5 kg summit, we got a glimpse of this surreal, eerie world. It's a dark, endless void filled with countless floating rectangular blocks of different sizes, scattered randomly through space. In the anime, those blocks seem to be made of rock and earth, since Kakashi was able to use them for Earth-style jutsu. And importantly, there's no exit, except through Obito's 2 eyes. If you're sent here, you're trapped forever unless Obito or Kakashi decides to let you out. Obito used this to his advantage, turning Kamui's dimension into his personal storage space. He kept all kinds of weapons inside, giant shuriken, black receivers, and massive kunai. He could summon any of them instantly, attacking opponents nonstop without ever carrying the weapons on him. But after both of Obito's eyes were destroyed and his soul passed on to the Pure Land, the path to Kamui's dimension was completely sealed off. No one can access it anymore. Level 6. Now I'm talking about the private space of the Kara organization. It exists completely separate from the normal world, hidden inside another dimension that can only be reached through Shinjutsu, high-level space-time ninjutsu, or through special portals Kara secretly placed around the Earth. Basically, this is a base that's impossible to break into by normal means. When you first step into Kara's dimension, you'll see a dead wasteland under a sky filled with thick black clouds. No sunlight, no life, just silence. And you'll see unique carvings on the walls. They show 3 Otsutsuki pairs. The first is Momoshiki and Kinshiki, the duo who once attacked Konohagakure. The second is Kaguya and Ishiki, 2 of the most powerful beings ever to set foot on Earth. And the third pair? No one knows. The carvings are too damaged to recognize. That alone proves that the Otsutsuki clan has a long history in this dimension, and that this might have been one of their ancient bases. But it gets even creepier. When you touch those carvings, holographic projections of the Otsutsuki appear. In the anime, if you step onto the platform after activating them, the projection will actually attack you. That's an automatic defense system. Proof that Otsutsuki technology is way beyond anything we've ever seen. And right under that platform lies a massive prison cell holding Ishiki's tentails. Yeah, a monster powerful enough to destroy the entire world is trapped right below your feet, just waiting for Ishiki to use it, to grow a chakra fruit and become immortal. Inside Kara's base, there's a training area where members can test out shinobi wear, advanced body modification technology. There's also a laboratory used by Amato, where he maintains and upgrades the other members' cybernetic parts. They even have a dining room for the inners, and in the anime, Jigen has his own private bar. All of this shows that Kara isn't just some terrorist group. They built an entire mini-society inside their own dimension. But the scariest part of Kara's dimension lies somewhere else. Hidden deep within the dimension is a massive crater that Ishiki prepared as a personal battlefield. At the bottom of the crater lies the lower half of a huge sealed coffin buried deep in the ground, while the upper half floats high in the sky, way above the clouds. Jigen used this place to bring his enemies, to let them slowly die or to trap them inside the coffin and kill them later when he felt like it. It's a brutal form of execution that shows Ishiki's complete confidence in his own power. What makes Kara's dimension even more dangerous is its ability to shift coordinates. Kara can change the dimensional coordinates anytime, meaning anyone who once entered the dimension can never return if they try to use the old ones. After Ishiki's death, Code shut down all the space-time portals to stop intruders. But Code still had access, because he had already placed his claw marks inside the dimension. He was afraid that Boruto or Kawaki, as complete Otsutsuki, would eventually master space-time ninjutsu and break in. And 3 years later, that fear came true. Boruto managed to enter Kara's dimension using the Flying Thunder God technique. So, what role will Kara's dimension play in Boruto's future? With the Ten Tails still trapped there, the Otsutsuki secret still hidden, and Code possibly using it as his base, it's almost certain that we'll see more battles take place in this mysterious world. Level 7. Now we're stepping into one of the most mysterious and terrifying places in the entire Naruto universe, Kaguya's dimensions. I'm not talking about one, I'm talking about 6 dimensions that belong to Kaguya Otsutsuki, the rabbit goddess. They exist completely separate from the world we know, and the only way to reach them is through Amanomanaka, a powerful space-time ninjutsu that only Kaguya can use. So, how were these dimensions created? That's something even the smartest characters in the series don't fully understand. Kakashi once said that Kaguya could rewrite an entire dimension in an instant, like casting a genjutsu, but on a cosmic level. When Kaguya was revived, the very first thing she did was teleport Team 7 and Obito away from Earth. She called Earth her nursery, and didn't want to fight there because she might destroy it. That tells us something big. Kaguya saw Earth as her property, her personal garden, where she grew chakra fruit. The central dimension is the most important one. It's the core dimension that connects all the others together, and it has one terrifying ability. Kaguya can recover insanely fast here and instantly absorb chakra from the victims of the infinite Tsukuyomi. This is also the place where Naruto and Sasuke sealed Kaguya and Black Zetsu inside a newly created moon. The second dimension is a land covered in lava, with extremely high temperatures. There's a giant volcano and a structure that looks like a castle. This was the first place Team 7 got sent to by Kaguya, and the heat here is strong enough to kill an ordinary ninja in just a few minutes. The third dimension is a frozen world filled with icy cliffs and snowy mountains. On top of one of those cliffs stands Kaguya's castle, a mysterious fortress whose true purpose is still unknown. The fourth dimension is a huge desert with endless sand dunes and burning heat caused by the harsh climate. But the last 2 dimensions are the truly horrifying ones. The fifth dimension is a sea of acid that can melt anything, living or not. If you fall in, you're gone instantly. And then there's the sixth dimension, probably the most dangerous of all. A strange world shaped like a pyramid, with extremely strong gravity. The pressure here is so heavy, it forces anyone to their knees, making movement almost impossible. The scariest thing about Kaguya's dimensions is that she can move between them instantly. Obito once said these dimensions are incredibly far apart, and he could hardly believe that Kaguya was able to link them together in a split second. But even Black Zetsu admitted that using Amanomanaka over and over was draining Kaguya's chakra supply. There's also a small detail that most people totally miss. Some other space-time jutsu can actually open portals into Kaguya's dimensions by syncing with the spatial distortions she creates. Obito managed to do this, But even with Sakura supporting him with chakra, his eye started bleeding from the massive pressure. Sasuke was also able to enter all 6 dimensions, but every time he moved between them, his Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan temporarily lost their Tomo, meaning he couldn't use them for a while. Even Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Urashiki Otsutsuki entered the ice and lava dimensions through unknown methods. And here's the big secret almost nobody talks about. When Kaguya created a massive truth-seeking ball in the core dimension, she did it by absorbing chakra from the victims of the infinite Tsukuyomi. And it's said that this ball was meant to create an entirely new dimension. That means Kaguya didn't just control the 6 known worlds, and she might have had the power to create more. So it makes you wonder, how many other dimensions are out there that we haven't discovered yet? How many worlds did Kaguya make before she was sealed away? And most importantly, could these dimensions still matter in Boruto's future? Since other Otsutsuki like Momoshiki and Kinshiki already know how to enter them, we'll probably uncover even more dark secrets about these mysterious worlds soon. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.